Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. I'm Aniket Kumar Sana, and today we would be going to talk about a revolutionizing technique, especially in the cloud infrastructure deployment, with the power of an integration. And this is a real time scenario which I faced in my project, and I would be sharing what exactly the scenario was, what integration we did, and how we resolved it. So, a bit of introduction of mine. So, I'm Aniket Kumar Sana and I work as the cloud consultant at Rapid Circle. Other than that, I have been formal gold Microsoft Launcher ambassador, and also I was the former GDSC lead. And I like communities, so I also be part of many organizing teams and I speak at various events. So, moving ahead, we can see that we are having two logos, right? So let me just use a laser pointer. So this is the logo of GitHub Actions and this is of Terraform, and we are considering here this as the Terraform Cloud. You can see that this has been separated with a specific line, right? So just imagine a scenario where you are working in a project which is using Terraform infrastructure and you are using Terraform Cloud to deploy your Terraform infrastructure, right? But you also have some maybe test, maybe pester test, maybe some automations using Python, PowerShell, Shell, etc. So for that case, you need to use some other CI/CD tool because Terraform Cloud only uses the Terraform infrastructure. So in that case, you are choosing GitHub Actions, right? So now you need to deploy everything, but in that case you need to juggle between the two platforms. Once you need to get into the GitHub to check GitHub Actions, the pipeline working there. In the other hand, you need to hop onto the Terraform Cloud to check the pipelines there, the runs there, and also manage the two pipelines, resolving the errors which are coming up, and it is a really hectic job. Jump from here and there and here. It is a really hectic job. So this is the issue which we were also facing. So we thought of doing a handshake between GitHub Actions and Terraform Cloud. And how we would be doing it? We would be doing it by achieving an integration nirvana between GitHub Actions and Terraform Cloud. Okay, so first let's get over the Terraform Cloud workspace. Right. So this is the Terraform Cloud workspace. You can just open this app.terraform.io. Okay, and let me zoom it up a bit so that you can see it a bit more clearly. So this is the workspaces environment, or this is the Terraform Cloud. And since you are already having some Terraform Cloud knowledge, so I'm assuming that you are having some Terraform Cloud knowledge, some Terraform knowledge, and also some background with GitHubs. Okay, so this is the Terraform Cloud area, and now we would be creating a workspace here, because to work with Terraform Cloud we need to create a workspace, right? So we are tapping on this new option and then on workspace. Okay, now we would be using the API driven workflow. So why we are choosing this API driven workflow? Because since we talked about an integration nirvana, to integrate the GitHub Action or Terraform Cloud, or to integrate Terraform Cloud within the GitHub Actions pipeline, we would be needing something to connect, right? So we would be using the API to connect these two platforms to create an integration nirvana. Okay, so let's name it as TFC hyphen GHA hyphen integration. Okay, selecting a project. Okay, so we are doing an integration nirvana between TFC and GitHub Actions. Okay, and then create. So we can see that the workspace has been created. Okay, note this specific block. We would be using this specific block in future within our code, because this is the block which is targeting the workspace which we have created, right? So you know that to run over the to run over the Terraform Cloud, we need to target a specific workspace, right? Because we run over or inside the workspace, and then only it creates a specific state file. Okay, so our workspace has been created. Now another important thing is that we would be creating a token. Okay, why we need to create a token? We need to create a token to authenticate the Terraform Cloud using the GitHub Actions, right? So we are like tapping on this icon, then user settings, and then we are opening up. Okay, and here we are coming up to tokens. So now we are creating a new token. Let's name as TFC underscore integration. Okay, and then generate token. Okay, so now this token has been generated. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to switch over to GitHub. Okay, and whatever repository which we are using for to create the pipeline or to store our code, we would be opening that, or if we haven't created yet, then we would be creating one. Okay, so let's open our GitHub. Okay, and then let's create the new repository, and let's give this as TFC integration, and then let's just create the repository. Okay, now the repository has been created. So we need to add this specific token as secret in our GitHub repository. Okay, so we would be going to settings, then here secrets and variables. So there you can see the actions option, right? So we are coming up here, and there we have the option of adding a new repository secret. So we would be tapping on this, would be giving this the name, and then in the secret we would be copying this specific secret code or the token, and then adding that as a secret here. Then tap on add secret. So we would be using this secret in the future in our code. Okay, so the secret has been added, right? Now what are the things which we need in our repository for the Terraform infrastructure, right? We need a main.tf file, because it is very important. There only we keep all our resources code, right? So we would be creating a main.tf file. Okay, so for the demo purpose, I have already created a repo and added already created a secret. Okay, and added that here, as you can see, right? So I have created this repository and I've created main.tf. Okay, in the main.tf, what are the things do you require? You require the resource block, because what resources you are deploying, you need that. So in this case we are using like Azure resources. Okay, so this is the resource block, and we are for now deploying just the resource group. Okay, and you can see that this Terraform block is also there. So you know that we also need the Terraform block, which would be consisting of the providers. So we are having the providers here. Okay, now you can see this cloud block. So I shown you here that this is the cloud block which we would be using. So you can see that this is under the Terraform block, right? So what is this exactly? So we are copying this specific part, okay, and then pasting it here. So what is this? So it is containing cloud and then organization name. So you can see here the organization name is this, like my name. I have added my name as the organization name. Okay, and in the workspace name it is using the workspace name which I have already created. So let me just show you this workspace. Right, so this is the workspace. Okay, So you can see that this is the workspace, and I have already deployed some things here, right? So we would be using that ahead. So why do we need this block? We need this block so that, because our code should understand that which workspace we are targeting, because for every run or with every apply phase there is a new state file getting created, right? So, and in workspaces, in the TFC workspaces, one workspace can hold only one specific state file. So that's why this would be targeting to this specific workspace, that here this is the workspace name, and here we need to run our Terraform code. Okay, now what is the next important thing? The next important thing that we are using the Azure to deploy, like we are deploying it over Azure, right? So there should be some place where we are adding something related to our Azure subscription, right? So where we are doing that? So we are doing that in the Terraform Cloud. So we would be opening variables, and we would be adding the details such as client ID, client secret, subscription ID, and tenant ID. Okay, so we would be adding all our SPN related details and the values here. Okay, so that it creates a connection between Azure also, because it needs to deploy it to somewhere, right? Maybe Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, or somewhere else, right? So we need to add some credentials of it. Okay, so this is till now. Next, we need also a GitHub action workflow, right? Because we are doing an integration ultimately between the GitHub Actions and the Terraform Cloud. So how we create the GitHub action workflow? We create like .github folder, and then /works, or the under .github folder we create workflows folder, and then we create our specific YAML file. Okay, so this is our workflow file. Now let's see what this workflow file is containing. Let me just zoom it out. So it is containing the name and then the jobs. Okay, and then it has all these steps. So in the first step we are using the checkout functions, which would be running over the GitHub Actions. Okay, and from here the setup Terraform. Okay, so you can see that now the Terraform part is coming up. So from here we are setting it up, the pipeline to run over the Terraform Cloud. Okay, so we are using here, you can see we are having the secrets here, the secret which we added in our secret section in the GitHub action, or the token which we generated from the token section, right? So we are adding this in this specific setup Terraform stage as CLI_config_credentials_token. Okay, and then we are having the general Terraform steps, that is Terraform init, Terraform validate, Terraform plan, and then Terraform apply. Okay, so you can see that now the coding part is done, but we also need to test it, right? So let's edit our resource tab, or let's edit our main.tf file. So we are opening up the github.dev to do the changes here, and then we would be running our GitHub Actions pipeline to test whether the real integration nirvana has been done or not. So it is coming up. Okay, yeah, it is there. So now we are here at the main.tf. So let's just change our current resource group name. Okay, let's just change the name and then save this file and then push it. Right, commit and push. Okay, now we would be again going to the real GitHub and then moving over to actions, because we can only run the GitHub Actions using this action tab. Okay, now the action has come up. We would go to the workflow and then we would be running the workflow. So we are using the master branch, or you may be having the main branch, and then run workflow. Okay, now within few seconds or with a refresh, you can see this new tab has come up of the GitHub action workflow. So we would be opening it, and here you can see our pipeline or the GitHub action workflow has started. Now let me show you one thing, that in this also, in the runs in the GitHub, in the Terraform Cloud, you can see the plan has started. So let us open this. You can see the plan is running up. Okay, let me also show that how is it running up. So now the plan is done, it is now running for the apply. So we are opening it, okay, and the apply has started. And let me just separate it out and add this here, and I should add this here. Do this here, yeah. So now you can see that whatever would be running here would be same coming up here, right? Because ultimately what it is happening, that the Terraform part is running over the Terraform Cloud itself. Okay, it's just that a copy of that is coming up over the GitHub Actions workflow run. Okay, so you can see same things running in these two platforms. Okay, you can see that destroying here also, it is destroying, right? Because it is the same thing. Like the pipeline is not running, or the TFC part is not running over two platforms, it is running over Terraform Cloud itself. Is just that a copy of it is getting shown in the Terraform Cloud workflow. So now what this is helping us, that we do not need to juggle over the Terraform Cloud to see the Terraform integration or the Terraform infrastructure part. Everything would be coming up over the GitHub Actions itself. So it would be saving a lot of time of us, right? So everything which would be running over the Terraform Cloud workflow, it is coming up here. The logs are coming up here. Even if any changes are there, it will show up. If any errors are there, it will show up. Everything would be covered and everything will be shown over here. You can see that it is destroying, because we changed the name, so it is destroying the old resource group and recreating the new resource group. You can see that complete, and then one is added, one is destroyed. Okay, if we are comparing this, you can see destroying, destroying, destruction, and then creation complete. And if we go to the like the section where we check what are created and what are destroyed, you can see that one to add, one to destroy, right? And this is getting replaced. So you are seeing that we are not running it twice, we are running it a single time, and the code is also getting run over one specific platform only. It is getting duplicated, or the copy of it is getting shown in the GitHub Actions workflow. So this is an important part to understand. Okay, so we did this specific integration nirvana, and just to show out the steps, so what we followed, so we created the workspace, then we created an API token, okay, and then we added that token as a secret in our GitHub action, or in our GitHub repository. Then we moved to the variable section to add the details of our Azure, right, the client ID, the client secret, etc, etc. And then we moved over the code part. So in the main.tf file, we added this specific cloud block, which is basically targeting the workspace in the Terraform Cloud. And then we are creating the GitHub Actions workflow, and this is the specific code of this workflow which we seen there. Okay, so we are like setting up the Terraform using the secret which we generated, or the API token which we generated, and then we are using the Terraform commands such as Terraform init, Terraform validate, Terraform plan, and Terraform apply. Okay, and this is how, when we are running the pipeline, a successful deployment with the successful integration has been done. Okay, now one more important thing that I would like to share with you is that in this specific run over the GitHub action, you can see to view this run in the browser, visit this. So using this link, you can even open that specific Terraform Cloud workspace run. So okay, let me click on this and open it. Okay, So you can see that this is the same run. If I would like to show you the IDs, okay, I have that in the separate folder, and here it is, and let me open this also. You can see that both the IDs are also same, right? So you also get the link to open the Terraform Cloud workspace run even from the GitHub Actions itself, right? So this would really be easing the work, because to juggle between two platforms and running pipelines from the two platforms is a really hectic thing, right? Because if you are getting some errors in both the platforms, you need to check both the platforms, you need to go over the logs in both the platform, understand it, rectify it, and then again rerun both the platforms. So this is not the feasible thing, and we as a DevOps guy, we need to simplify the thing, we need to integrate the things, we need to automate the things, and this is what we are following to automate our infrastructure deployment using the special power of integration. Okay, so this was the specific integration nirvana power which I thought of sharing with you, and you are successful in achieving this integration nirvana with the special powers of integration between Terraform Cloud and GitHub Actions. So you can see how good Terraform Cloud is. It provides you every possible way to easyfy your work. Okay, and Terraform Cloud also provides you the specific log feature, state log feature. If you have explored Terraform Cloud, you can just open the states option. You can see the latest run, like the latest state. You can see 5 minutes ago, and you can log this. So now nobody else or no one can alter your state, which means no one can deploy anything else over your infrastructure in the Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, or any other provider, right? So these are some special features of Terraform Cloud, and this is how we are integrating it. And this was it for the day that I want to share. And moving ahead, I would like to share some repositories or some links with you. So first one is the code repository link, which I shown you, that which was having the main.tf code, which was having the YAML file, right? So you can scan this, or you can go through this link, and you would be getting that specific repository, and it would be helping you. And another important thing which I would like to share is the state file migration steps, because see, if might be you are using the Terraform open source, or you are not using Terraform Cloud, right, and you are using the like regular stages, like where we are deploying or we are storing our state file in some kind of storage account, right? So you need to move that state file to the Terraform Cloud, because the state files are stored of the Terraform Cloud, and you need to do this migration, otherwise nothing would be shown up in the new run which you are running in the Terraform Cloud, because the state file is needed in the infrastructure deployment. So you can scan this or open this link, and you would be linked to a blog where I have shared the details, like how you can migrate your current state file from any place, be it a stored area or be it a local area, right? So you can use this step for your state file migration. So these were the important links which I would which I thought of sharing with you. And if you want to connect with me, you can scan this QR code or move over to like Linktree/Aniket Kumar Sana, or you can just search over me over various platforms and you can connect me over there. And if you have any questions, you can just shoot a DM to me, and I would be very happy to help you out. So thank you everyone, thank you for attending this talk, and thank you for being in the path of achieving the integration nirvana with me.